是在有钱人的家里出生的，她很漂亮。
Hello, hello, hello world. I hope you guys are all doing phenomenally, if that's even a word. Let's just say I hope you're doing very well today. So let's jump into the word of the day, which comes from Mandarin, and the word is 加油. Now, 加油, what does it mean? Well, it's hard to find an exact English equivalent. However, it's very similar to like encourage. However, 加油 also could mean something else. Because 加 basically means to add. Yo means oil. So you could add oil to something. Man, I love this anchor stuff. It's literally like being it's a different dynamic. It's like making a radio show. That's what I'm realizing more and more. So like today's episode we had a guest who talked about some Filipino words, some Filipino culture, different languages in the Philippines, etc. We had I'm gonna have my daily rant, which I'm gonna shoot in a bit. We have some music that we're clipping in, like call-ins. I'm gonna answer people's call-ins. Like it's a whole show, it's a whole production. I'm really enjoying this anchor stuff. I wanted to talk about a YouTube comment that came in a little bit earlier today, which is from Benjamin Cox, which basically is saying he is interested in studying languages at university, and he wanted me to make a video about how I got in and what my life essentially looked like while I was there. How I got in was relatively simple. I mean, there's not really much of a story there. I mean, I applied how one applies to get into a university, and I got in. Wasn't overly complex. I mean, it's pretty interesting because when I was going to university, I picked languages, yes, because I liked them, but also probably equally as much because everything else in my university didn't interest me. Didn't care about computer science, didn't care about engineering, didn't care about medicine, didn't care about sciences, didn't care about math. Like, I didn't like everything else, so I was like, well, I guess I'm doing languages, so that's kind of why I did it. In terms of what my life consisted of while I was in university, now that is a different story. That's an interesting one because the biggest thing I learned was that even though you like learning languages, it doesn't actually mean that you're going to like your program. Because I liked university, but not necessarily for my classes, which is interesting. Because I like learning languages because I like to talk to people. I like to learn about slang. I like to communicate with people from different countries. I like to travel. I like how languages sound. I like the phonetics. I like all of that. And when you major in, at least in my university, maybe other people's are different, but in my university, when you major in languages, you end up taking lots and lots of history classes, lots of classes about like poetry, maybe about literature, and all of a sudden you're studying not necessarily just the language, but things that are associated with that language. So you might go and learn about, you might go read some complex book and write a whole analysis on it. And then you take like 5-10 classes a year on those types of topics, which all of a sudden goes from, wow, I like languages, but man, I don't know if I like all my classes. So a lot of my classes, I didn't particularly enjoy per se, which essentially resulted in me every year not going to a higher percentage of my classes. So by the time I was in my 3rd and 4th year, I probably went to roughly half my classes. I didn't show up for the other half because I just wasn't interested, and I would just find other ways to be able to still get okay marks and good marks. So I was a B student essentially throughout university, yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up there. There's a lot of things I could say on the topic, but I think that answers Benjamin's question in a concise way, so. You would think that the actual posts get more views, but when I look, you get the episodes have way more views than my actual station. I wonder why. I don't know. I think it's their design. Mommy? Oh, sorry. I think it's their design. When you click on people's profiles. Salut! Ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi?
Oui. Ça va très bien. Ça va très bien. Une crotte de nez, ça veut dire booger.
Oh, okay.
Une crotte de nez. Ouais, une crotte de nez. Une crotte? Qu'est-ce que c'est crotte? Je pense que crotte c'est poop. Attends, let's check. Je pense que crotte c'est poop. Oui, crotte c'est poop. So poop of the nose.
Oh.
Attends, I'll double check.
Wow.
Je vais juste chercher un autre dictionnaire pour vérifier. Word reference. Attends. I just want to double check a second dictionary, make sure that's the right translation, but I think it is. English, French. Crotte. Bah oui, c'est drôle, hein. Crotte. Oui, a turd, a poo, a poop, a dropping. Ouais, voilà. Donc une crotte de nez. Hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
See?
Euskera, or Euskera, or however you say it, is like the funniest language ever.
Which language?
What they speak in the Basque country.
What do they speak in that Basque country?
It's called, like, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but like Euskera.
How do you spell it?
I think it's E-U-S something something.
Oh, here we go. Wait, I might have found it here. E-U-S-K-E-R-A. Euskera.
It's such a cool language because, like, the way that they talk, it sounds like it should be Spanish, but then you don't understand anything.
So it's related. Is it related to Spanish?
I think it's like it's what it used to be like the traditional language of that area.
Interesting. I'm reading like a Wikipedia article. It says linguistically, Basque is unrelated to other languages of Europe, and indeed, as a language isolate to any other known language. So supposedly it's not really related to anything, but then again, it's Wikipedia, so you don't know if that's true. But we'll watch it.
Because like on the metro, like whenever anything would talk or like all the signs, and the spelling is like ridiculous. There's a lot of like TX and TZ.
Really?
Like, my friend's name was Akecha, which is like A-K-E-T-X-A.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. There's actually lots of videos on YouTube where they talk about this in Spanish. Let's watch one. Are you available? Let me have a look at my calendar here. Are you available tomorrow afternoon?
C'était la dernière fois que vous avez fait un gâteau et pourquoi?
My favorite thing is that in your introduction you said, where's your intro? You said, oh,
tried to make sure.
I like winning culinary competitions. But then you said I guess you could win a culinary competition without me cooking me a cake.
I changed it. I initially had it. I like winning cake competitions. I'm like, no wait.